Jeez, dude, off to a good start. Hey, good evening, everybody, and welcome to a Halloween episode of You, Me, and He. I am your host, Rob Lambert, and I'm joined by my co-ghosts.
Oh, wow, that was clever.
That was pretty. Yeah, gotta give you credit on that one.
You know, he's thinking about that all 2 weeks.
I think, yeah, dude, totally. I think it's only fitting that this is Josh Frankenstein.
Oh, dude, so good.
Yeah.
One time a year, it's like right on the point.
Yeah, dude,
right
it just
it
nails it.
Drew Carroll.
Drew Carroll here.
Well, that's right. Hey, welcome to, dude, a spooktacular episode.
Wow, you're just full of them.
I know, dude. I'm just going to they just keep coming to me. I'm just going to let them keep rolling. As always, we just want to say welcome to the show. Number one, I just want to throw it out there once again. If you are interested in helping out the show, make sure you check out our Patreon at patreon.com/youmehepodcast. Tiers start out at $2, and it's a great way to support the show and help take it to the next level. So check that out. Now, fellas, this week, I discovered something that just, it sort of blew my mind, but then I just decided I'm going to go for it. I'm going to jump into this thing, and it's amazing. So you guys know, I am a big Pokemon Go fan, right?
Yes, unfortunately.
Well, I thought you were, but I was hoping that was over.
Is that craze still going on?
Dude, it's never going to die, dude. It's Pokemon Go.
It should.
Dude, you get to get out there in the community, dude. You got to catch them all, bro. You got to catch them all. Dude, to train them is my cause. Anyways. Dude, a couple of days ago, I was surfing Reddit, and I was on one of my favorite subreddits, Not the Onion. And I saw an article that caught my eye. And it's legit, okay? This is what it said. Vatican releases Pokemon Go clone for Catholics.
Oh, you've got me hooked.
And it's real. It is real. It's called JC Go, as in Jesus Christ Go. Oh my gosh. I read this and I thought to myself, there's no way this is real. Oh my gosh, it's real, and I've played it, and it's amazing. Okay, here's the deal. A third-party developer with the blessing from the Pope created this app, okay? And basically, it is Pokemon Go, but instead of catching our beloved pocket monsters,
please use a different word.
Yeah, dude, that sounds bad. That sounds very popish. Very Vatican.
Dude, all I'm saying is Pikachu, I choose you.
I'm surprised that's not what they named it.
Seriously.
Pocket monsters.
Pocket monsters go.
Dude, you know you want to catch a Squirtle. Anyways, here's the deal. Instead of catching your favorite pocket monsters, you are going around and you are catching some of your most beloved Catholic saints. Now,
by catching, you mean they run away from you when you try and catch them?
So here's the deal. As you're going around out in your community, you'll stumble upon one of these Catholic saints, and then they will quiz you. And if you get the answer right, if you get the answer right, they will join your evangelism team.
They join your evangelism team?
Yes. Now here's the deal, dude.
Oh.
It is.
Oh my gosh.
Now, here's the deal. What makes it amazing, okay? What makes it like so hard? Like, it's the most hardcore Pokemon Go clone I can imagine, because instead of catching these like cartoon monsters, you're going out and you're adding these people who, in like a lot of cases, have been brutally murdered in the past for their faith, and you're adding them to your team. And so, like, I've only caught 4. I've only added 4 of them to my evangelism team. But
that's the kicker right there, man.
When you read the history behind these people who have joined your team, it's like one guy was beheaded by Henry VIII, and like one guy like One guy like stood up against an army of Native Americans and got shot with an arrow, and then his body was burned in a church. Like, this is a game. It's ridiculous. Oh my gosh.
Hold on. I wanna share with you the wonderful story of my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, but I'm gonna need some help from my evangelism team. Sorry, nobody else could see that. What I did was I popped up my cell phone. Please listen to my cell phone as I evangelize to you.
Dude, that is one of the funniest things.
Dude, and here's the deal. They say that they have English language support, but you can't select it. Everything is in Espanol. So you're learning Spanish at the same time.
So you've now told me the only benefit to this game, if you even want to consider that a benefit.
You don't have to buy Rosetta Stone.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
save yourself $500.
Or you can do like me. Every time you get to a saint and it's time to answer their question, it's always true or false. And I just always pick verdad, bro. Just pick the verdad, and if it's right, you get them, and if it's not, you don't. So all I'm saying is that if you're
Dang it, I really needed the Apostle Paul.
No, dude, here's the deal. Like, anybody's going to catch like some of these random saints, but I get a feeling that like Mewtwo is like the most powerful Pokemon. And I know I'm going off into the nerd bushes with you guys right now, but
yeah.
Like, I legitimately want to go catch Jesus Cristo, bro, because you know that his power level is like ridiculous, right?
You got to have that on you got to be on your squad, dude. Oh my gosh, dude, that is
the Apostle Pedro, dude. You got to get the Apostle Pedro. Anyways, all I'm saying, if you are a Pokemon Go fan, or if you are a fan of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, go check out JC Go because, dude, it's Vatican and Pope approved. So, and if you download it, you can add me as your friend. So
and build your evangelical team.
I mean, there's really only one word that comes to mind, and it's wow.
Hey, you know what, dude?
Wow.
I'm all for, kind of, evolving and whatnot, but this is like
no.
Gone too far, Drew.
There's a point where you are actually devolving, and I think this is a good example of that.
This is right up there with Carmen, the artist.
No, yeah. Not San Diego.
So called.
Dude, Carmen was the champion, bro. Don't bring him into this.
Oh my god, dude.
I bet you catch him.
Maybe you do. Although he hasn't died for his faith yet, I don't think so.
Just give it some time. That'll be in one of the updates. Anyways,
thank you for that nugget of knowledge.
All I'm saying, go download JC Go in the App Store. Add me as your friend, and together we're going to turn these heathens into believers.
No, I don't think I will. I think I will definitely hard pass on that one.
Really?
Yeah, I'm gonna hard pass on that one.
I just installed.
Dude, I'll give you some holy water. It's like your energy. You'll be fine. Okay?
So you don't ever fight like demons or anything? You just answer questions and
perform exorcisms? Now, if you can perform an exorcism, that'd be kind of cool, actually.
Okay, like I said.
Don't you fight in Pokemon?
Yeah, so there's like gyms, okay? There's like gyms in Pokemon Go. I'm imagining there's going to be, at some point in an update, there's got to be some sort of a battle system where you can use your evangelism team.
What about
to like
they give
minister.
they give you the opportunity to
what are they called?
For martyrdom?
The sacred objects.
Relics or
relics, yes. Now we're getting beast. Okay, if there are relics that are that you can find in these things,
like you could find the Ark of the Covenant,
yeah, and then use them to perform exorcisms,
the Holy Grail,
yeah, and fight demonic activity. Now we got ourselves a game.
Oh my god! Here's the deal. I'm sure updates are coming, so stay tuned. Make sure you download JC Go, and we'll get our evangelism team together. And guys, we're gonna take this one by storm. I can feel it. It's good stuff. So
okay.
Anyways.
Awesome.
So Josh, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing okay. In the 2 weeks that we last got together, I have been to San Diego for a work conference, and on my way back, I sat in the airport for 4 hours prior to my flight leaving, and I went and found the most quiet and relaxing area in the airport, which, sounds...
Doesn't exist.
Yeah, it doesn't sound right, but it was up against a window where you could see the planes like take off and land, and there wasn't anyone around me. And it was actually kind of peaceful over where I was, right? And, I have my headphones and my iPad and everything like that. And then some lady comes and sits down right across from me. And I'm trying to figure out why on earth she would do this, because as I look around at all the seats, there's literally no one else around me, right? And she sits down right across from me. And she is just talking to nobody. And by that, I mean she is literally talking, but to nobody. She's across the aisle from me, knees facing each other, 5 feet of different distance between us, and she is just randomly talking. And so I have gone from this quiet, peaceful area where I'm just waiting for my plane to sitting across from the only psycho that I think is actually in the airport, right? And she's there for like a half an hour. And then 2 police officers show up. That's right. 2 cops show up into my little, quiet, private area.
What is happening here?
And immediately I start thinking, oh, no, they found me, right?
Oh, geez. You're like, I shouldn't have downloaded JCGO.
So, I've got my iPad in front of me, and I got my headphones on, and I'm just kind of looking up and looking back towards my iPad, just back and forth and waiting to see what happens. And one of the officers confronts the woman sitting across from me, and I was like, okay, good. It's not me. I'm not all conspicuous. And they start talking to her, and they're asking her questions. Apparently, she had strolled through the airport in one of the stores that are in the airport and just thrashed the place.
Bull in a china
threw
shop.
Yeah, dude, threw magazines all over the floor, pulled crap out of the refrigerator, knocked over the cash register area that had stuff in there, just made a mess.
So she was talking to actually a lot of people. They were just all in her head.
And so they're sitting here questioning this woman, asking her things like, why did you do that? And, where did you come in from? And where are you going? And trying to get her story. And this woman is literally slurring everything that she's saying. You can barely make out anything that she's saying. And, long story short, it gets to a point where they ask her if she's had anything to drink. And she responds with, no, I haven't had anything to drink. And he was like, can you please repeat that one more time? And she says it loud enough to where she, you can actually hear her say, no, I haven't had anything to drink. And the guy says, you smell like alcohol, ma'am. And she's like, but I swear I haven't had anything to drink. So they start going through her backpack, and they pull out 24 capsules of Ambien.
Oh.
Right?
Oh, dude.
So there's that. And 15 minutes later, she finally admits to having had a few drinks on the plane that she came in from.
With her Ambien?
With 2 Ambien.
Oh, gosh, dude.
So she was flying high even when they landed.
So there, under the guise of we can't let you fly, and for everyone's protection and safety, we're gonna have to take you in, right? And this was a big girl, dude, 6'1", 250 pounds,
whoa,
big girl.
Yeah,
big girl.
Thor Bjornsson with a
yeah.
wig on.
Yeah, dude.
Linebacker for the Raiders.
And so the one officer reaches down and starts to try and put her hands behind her back. And she literally throws him into the chair next to her. Literally throws him. And I'm sitting 5 feet away from all this. And now the rest of the airport is watching what's going on.
Your
so
peaceful
there's
zone.
me. There's me. There is the woman sitting across from me and 2 officers. And then there are 400 people about 15 feet back watching everything that's going on. And I somehow feel like I'm a part of this. I've got nothing to do with it. I still have my headphones on. I probably look like this guy that's just don't look at me, don't look at me, don't look at me, don't look at me. But you can't not watch, right? The other officer steps in, tries to intervene and help the other guy out. And tries to grab one arm and takes one, and she is moving, dude. She is throwing, moving her around and everything like that. And the other guy comes in, grabs the other arm, and they're trying to calm her down and wrestle her arms and stuff like that. And she gets up, dude, like almost like the Hulk. She has her arms like up here in her chest, gets up like the Hulk and just like pushes them back, and they kind of like go flying. But the problem was she like came forward because of her momentum. So this woman like face plants 2 feet in front of me, just bam, and I got my iPad out, just like kind of like sitting here while 400 people on the other side are watching what's going on, dude. And it was like the most legit airport takedown I've ever seen. Oh my God. They're wrestling this woman. One of them actually called for backup, and it took 4 officers to wrangle this chick, dude. It was one of those things like, I'm sitting there like 4 hours, man, in an airport. And of course, I chose the most unlucky, or lucky seat, depending on how you want to look at it.
It sounds like it chose you.
The seat chose me. Fate would have it. So, yeah, man, it was you don't go out of town on business expecting crazy, but every once in a while you might meet it head on. So, it was
dude,
yeah, it was freaking awesome, man. I loved it.
I think you're just super lucky, man. Some of us would pay good money to have front row seats to something that's the equivalent of WrestleMania, but you got it for free. Dang it, Josh. It was like Brock Lesnar in a Royal Rumble.
Yeah, dude. Most people spend their time watching those videos online. It's like a dream come true.
I'm just imagining Josh sitting there yelling, "World Star! World Star!"
It was pretty great, man. And it was on the way back from my conference, so it's kind of like just what I needed. I figured since I got that, when I got up to the counter to check in for my flight, they asked if I'd like to upgrade to first class, and it was only going to cost me $20, so I said yeah.
Oh, dude.
Absolutely. Yeah. I want to be in the front when it goes down.
I was like, this
hit something hard. I don't want to walk away from this.
I figured it was a good little night, and that's one way to cap a week. So, it was interesting.
Nice.
I love it.
So, Drew, tell us about your week.
Oh, man. It is awesome. So, we talked a couple weeks ago. I had mentioned about how I did the muffin to my wife.
Oh, my.
Turned out to be a huge mistake.
Which, by the way, is like one of my kids' favorite things to do.
Oh,
like,
sure. I can imagine, dude. The look on the other person's face when you do it is priceless.
This does not stop at my son. It has transcended to my twin daughters, and yes, even my little 3-year-old preschooler. So
I will say for many of our female listeners that I've heard from Drew, that story has gone down in infamy. So very nice.
So ever since then, I've tried to, I guess, be a little bit more sensitive to the whole farting thing, So
you haven't muffined your 3-month-old daughter, have you?
No, but one thing I do,
more sensitive.
One thing I do to her that my wife doesn't really like is every time I burp, I blow it in my daughter's face.
You're the worst.
She just gives me this look of like, it's the same look of when I gave her the muffin, dude. And I tell her,
you remind me what it would be like if a homeless man had a child.
Well, I told my wife, I said, you know what? She's got to get used to this because this is going to be her life.
This is life. This is what life is like.
I'm the only guy in this house.
She's going to turn 18 and some boy at the doorstep is actually going to bring her flowers. And she's going to be like, I didn't realize life could smell so good.
Oh, yeah, dude. So, when Elizabeth and I, when we lay down, sometimes that's like, I mean, you guys know, sometimes that could be like the only time that you get, and so you talk for 5, 10, 15 minutes or whatever, just laying down. And so we're talking.
That's what you do when you lay down? You talk?
What? Depends how tired we are, man.
I thought it was an innuendo for something.
No. So we always, we'll sit there and talk for probably 5 or 10 minutes or whatever when it's dark. And we're sitting there talking, dude, and I can tell that she's like fading out. She's barely responsive, she's just like on her way out.
Wait, are we still actually talking about talking? Or is this Okay.
Dude, as you get older, Drew, things start.
So we're sitting there talking, dude, and she's like less and less responsive, and so I had saved this fart, dude, and so
Saved it.
I farted under the blankets, dude, and it was silent, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, I can't just let it sit under there because it's going to creep up for the next 15 minutes.
Why do I get the feeling that you're the guy that farts into a Ziploc bag and stores it in your nightstand?
I never thought about that.
He's like
Save
a
it for
doomsday
later.
prepper, but with farts.
Save it for a future. Yeah, dude.
Oh my god.
So
You sell them on Etsy. Okay. No.
just pop them.
Fire starter.
So I farted, and I have a fan that sits at the foot, and it just blows straight on me. And so I'm thinking, okay, if I just lift up the blanket, it's just gonna.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Effervesce.
I lift up the blanket, and I drop it, and it must have just gone straight to her, dude. Because she was like half asleep, dude, and then she's all. Did you fart?
Wait.
Yes,
Did you just make a tasting sound?
Oh my god.
You inverted Dutch ovened your wife.
Yeah, dude. Total accident.
Nothing
When
in
you do
this
that,
world is
there's no
an
escape.
accident. Didn't you just hear the airport story?
Yeah. So yeah, she didn't like that either.
You can't please this woman. What's
Dude,
going on?
Nothing wakes her up, and that woke her up.
I'm sorry. The really sad part of all of this is that she tasted it before she smelled it. That's like,
It's like the Joker.
you want to know how I got these scars?
Oh my god.
Anyway, you were in the middle of explaining something else.
I don't remember. That was my week in a nutshell.
Awesome. Well, hey, we got to take a little break, but when we come back, guys, it's Halloween, so why don't we talk about Halloween? Stay with us.
Perfect.
All right, and welcome back to the show. Guys, it's Halloween. I don't know about you, but I love this time of year. Do you guys have any cool Halloween plans? What are you going to do?
So I have 4 children. My son wants me to dress up as Luigi because he's going as Mario. I'm not sure if the wife actually got my costume.
Killer idea, dude.
So
That's so good.
yeah, we'll be the Super Mario Brothers, and
Nice.
yeah, we'll do some trick or treating,
Nice.
and yeah, and that's about it.
Do you get trick-or-treaters at your house, Josh? You're like,
They have to walk super far.
I hear he gets full-size candy bars.
The nice thing about having friends that live in the gated community is that's where we take our kids to go trick or treating.
Nice. Yeah.
We get all the benefits of the gated community without actually living there in hell. So
Nice.
yeah, no,
You need to build up.
we
you
don't
need
get
to
trick
build
or
up-
treaters.
You need to build up that reputation of like, hey, you guys ever go out to the old Frankenstein place? You know? Dude. Oh, it could be so good.
That'd be
So
cool.
good. That huge dog.
it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
What about you, Drew? I mean, come on, man. This is your first Halloween as a dad.
It is, yeah. And I have a costume. I've been wearing it since 2012.
No, not
this
the
the
same
same?
one.
The penguin.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, jeez.
Dude. There
Yeah.
it is.
Okay.
I asked Elizabeth today. Actually, I was like, "Hey, are we gonna like go to a harvest carnival or something? We can't
gosh.
trick or treat because Piper is obviously too young for candy. She doesn't have any teeth."
Yeah, but there's nothing like getting a lot of candy for yourself because you're holding your baby.
Yeah, but
And
I don't know,
baby
man. It just
penguins
seems-
are really cute. Baby penguins will get lots of candy bars.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
You gonna get them almond joys? What?
I'd rather just buy the candy.
I don't want to work for them.
Really? Because the fart stories you were telling earlier tells me that you'd rather just go trick or treating for the candy.
Based on my mental age. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm hoping that we go out, if not trick or treating, at least on the bicycle with the trailer and then the skateboard, and then I'll wear my penguin outfit.
Bag snatching.
You'll see me on the news the next day.
Oh, man.
All beat up. My penguin suit
A
on.
grown man dressed as a penguin terrorizing a small town.
Yeah, so we'll see.
One of the things that is a little bit of a tradition when it comes to this time of year is the Halloween films with Michael Myers. Have you guys ever seen any of the Halloween movies?
You know, I've seen like 3/4 of the original. And by 3/4, I mean like I watched the first third and then I left for a little while and then I came back for the ending.
I think I've only seen the first 15. I don't know. It's nice to see Jamie Lee Curtis in a movie again, though.
She is solely holding this franchise down. Dude, I don't get it. I don't get. Okay, two things. Number one, let me throw this out here for you, because one of my friends took his wife to see it, and it scared the crap out of her so much to the point where when they got home, she made him go into the house before her and check everything before she would come inside. People see these movies. The latest Halloween movie, get this, the one that just came out this year, had a $10 million budget.
That tells you how much Jamie Lee Curtis is getting paid for movies nowadays. That's the entire budget of the film.
No. That's the thing. That's how much it costs to make the movie. They're going to get paid out of what it makes when people see it.
Oh, gotcha.
Globally, $172 million.
That's a moneymaker.
People are going to see Halloween. Now, do you guys know how many Halloween movies there are? Just take a guess.
8.
No, 13.
No.
15.
Okay, Drew, don't get out of hand. Just take it easy, okay?
5.
Josh, you said 8.
Yes.
There are more.
11.
No.
11.
There are actually more than 8.
Drew, great job. There are 11 Halloween
That doesn't
films.
count. He said 13 first.
Actually,
Yeah, but then he said 11, so I'm going to count it.
Thanks.
This sounds like one of our first polls.
Dude, I just don't get it. I don't understand how this story keeps going, bro. Michael Myers. I mean, I get he's a really slow guy that you can shoot a lot of times, and he keeps coming back.
Yeah.
I don't understand why that scares people.
I don't
When have
either.
you ever seen that on the news? When have you ever seen that be a real thing?
Dude, I mean, I got bored in the first one.
You know what scares me? Ebola, mosquitoes, sharks, real things.
So for you, Sharknado is the horror film of the century, is what you're saying?
Sure. Yeah, dude.
Dude, Jamie Lee Curtis, she's back again. She is
Dude, she has built her career on Halloween and Freaky Friday.
haunted by
But
Michael
mostly
Myers once again.
I don't know, man. Like I'm not gonna watch this one.
Well, it's a story that can age with her, so she can keep doing it. Dude, it's going to be weird when she's like in a hospital
nursing
bed.
home?
Yeah. Will me away from here.
No, dude, it's gonna be
He's
an
just
electric.
killing all her nurses.
It's gonna be an electric wheelchair. Like she'll be able to do it
Spinning
herself.
around.
Yeah, she'll be talking like Stephen Hawking, but you know,
Controlling it with her breath.
Oh no, it's Michael Myers. No, So, dude,
There's someone out there that's gonna be really angry about that Hawking.
I know,
joke.
I apologize.
Dude, whatever.
If you haven't seen the newest Halloween, I just want to read to you. I want to read to you what the preview says here. It says, Laurie Strode confronts her longtime foe, Michael Myers, the masked figure who has haunted her since she narrowly escaped his killing spree on Halloween night 4 decades ago. 40 years. What's going on? Oh my gosh.
She is the ultimate prepper and survivor.
I guess so. So I don't understand. Is he a demon? Is he immortal?
You tell me, man. I've seen 3/4 of one of the movies, okay? I have no idea.
Is that
I will say, full disclosure, officially you've seen more of it than I have. So technically you're the expert here.
Wait, so do none of us
that's
know?
sad.
Do none of us know what their bond is?
No.
Maybe are they? Is it like her brother? Maybe I don't know.
Dude, maybe the only thing I know is he drowned, and then he came back and started killing people.
Okay, hang on. Here's the deal. I'm on IMDb. Now, IMDb has all 11 movies listed, and it has like a little snippet. So maybe if we read these, it'll put the story together. So, first Halloween, it says 15 years after murdering his sister on Halloween night, he escapes from a mental hospital and returns to small town of Haddonfield to kill again. So
That was the
I don't
first
understand.
movie?
That's Halloween, the original. Then Halloween 2, while Sheriff Brackett and Dr. Loomis hunt for Michael Myers, a traumatized Laurie is rushed to the hospital, and the serial killer is not far behind her. So I still don't know how they're connected.
Dude, no.
I'm reading all of these descriptions. Every movie is like he's coming back to kill a member of his own family. And a lot of them are just his niece.
Why?
I don't know.
This sounds weird.
Is his niece Laurie Strode?
No.
I'm so confused.
I have a feeling that this was a movie about a guy trying to kill his family, and Jamie Lee Curtis just showed up and said, I want to be in the film. And they were like, sir, calm down. Anyways, go see the new Halloween film. I'm sure it's awesome.
That's how you close a segment.
That was awesome.
So, Drew, you have something special for us, right?
Come join me in my backyard. This is Backyard Philosophies with Drew Carroll. Hoodoo!
So, I specifically requested this backyard philosophy because I feel like you've been doing such a great job with the wisdom that you share. I wanted to get some insight, and being that it's Halloween,
So nervous right
and
now.
we're talking about scary things, I just felt like I had to ask you this question to see, what your response would be and what your advice would be. When is it okay, if it's ever okay, for a man to wear cut-off jean shorts?
What?
Like the high ones?
Sure. So, I started thinking, obviously cut-off jean shorts are okay on a scarecrow, right? I mean, that's all right. That's okay.
Okay.
Is it okay
On
for...
wait, on a scarecrow?
Yeah,
Why does a scarecrow have such short shorts?
I didn't say they were short. I just said they were cut-off jeans. Like,
Drew was imagining a scarecrow wearing denim underwear. Just so everybody knows.
So I'm trying to think in context, and the reason why is because this is a little bit of a personal question too. I was working on my property this week, and I was wearing a pair of pants that had a rip in the knee, and it was actually kind of warm, so I just cut the bottoms off.
How high? Or low?
Sure.
Okay, so they were
talking
buy.
Are we talking like Huck Finn, like down at the knee?
Dude, no,
Like
we're
you're about to go
talking
paint a fence,
skin that's never seen sunlight. Dude, 3 minutes sunburn.
Are we talking lower buttock? Can we see lower buttock? That's all I need to know.
Dude,
I feel like we're really getting into never nude territory right now.
we're talking Pauly Shore and son-in-law.
Oh my gosh. There's a reference nobody knows.
We'll put it on the Instagram.
Yes, we will.
So I was trying to think back, like in movies and music performers, mostly country, obviously. Like, maybe in Louisiana, it's okay to wear cut-off jean shorts, or maybe while you're playing guitar and singing a country song, it's okay to wear cut-off jean shorts. But where is that limit, Drew? Like, where is that a fine line between hipster and country artist?
I can tell by you not answering certain questions that you cross that line big time.
He's afraid of what the answer will be.
Yeah, dude.
Drew, he's asking you to save him from himself.
Dude, I wouldn't cut anything above the knee for sure, dude.
Oh my God.
I mean, to try and play it off somewhat, it's got to be a little bit below the knee. Tell me what happened.
Nothing,
Josh,
man. I told you.
Who hurt you, Josh?
I mean, dude, the only time that I can imagine it's okay is if you are going to a Halloween party or a white trash party or
Dressing a scarecrow.
I don't know if that fits the narrative for a scarecrow, but
Okay.
I think it's also okay if you are the Incredible Hulk or a werewolf. Like, so when you transform and your clothes rip, I think you're okay
no, so
there.
there's my excuse.
problem.
I mean, being Josh Frankenstein, that's kind of like being the Hulk, right? So I mean,
did
it's
your
okay for-
body morph?
Yes.
Your mouth says yes, but your eyebrows say no.
It was more so on the inside than the outside. You figured out who you really were.
something changed inside. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you answering that question, Drew.
You know what? On that note, fellas,
Did we answer it?
hey, you'll be able to sleep at night. We're good. Well, fellas, on that note, as we come to the end of our time, let's talk about what we've learned. Number 1, JC Go is the greatest app that's ever been created. So download it, add me, let's do this. Join my evangelism team. Number 2, I think the grudge match we all want to see is Airport Lady versus Jamie Lee Curtis.
Now there's a Halloween film.
I'm not saying that Airport Lady's not going to put up a good fight, but Jamie Lee, I think he can take her. Okay, now, last but not least, I think, well, one thing we've definitely learned is that when it comes to jean shorts, Josh, if it's above the knee, it cannot be. So be careful, my friend. And be careful to our listeners out there. It's easy to tread into territory that you can't come back from. As always, we just want to say thanks so much for listening and supporting the show. Make sure that wherever you get your podcast, you go and leave us a review there. And if you give us a 5-star, it really helps out the show, and we really appreciate it. Make sure you check out our Patreon, patreon.com/youmehepodcast. You can support the show there, and we really appreciate that as well. And until next time, I'm Rob Lambert.
I, Josh Frankenstein.
And this is Jamie Lee Curtis.
Happy Halloween, everybody.